Let's talk about spirit and mental health. And in this, I want to talk to you about what is the relationship between the two. And I know you would be wondering sometimes, what is the difference between emotions and thoughts? You probably don't even know if there is any difference between the two. So you will find that sometimes you say, I feel so, and sometimes you say, I think so. So what is the difference between the two statements? What is the impact of these two statements when you make? We'll talk that out. But before that, I want to talk to you about my childhood. These lectures are very great opportunity for me to share my childhood because no one listens to me. So you listen to me. I do not know how many of you are fortunate enough as I was as a child. In my primary school, I was allowed in lunch break to go out. Are you allowed outside your gate? I was allowed. No one was there to check us. So that was the beauty of it. So we used to go to a video parlor. And there were 4 or 5 games. One was the shooting. I do not know if you have seen those old time video games, the large machines and 2D. But my favorite was car racing. And in that car racing, there used to be a hurdle where suddenly as you are winning, a slippery road comes in. So you control your car, you slow down the speed, then other cars takes over, and if you keep the same speed, it slips and accident happens. Every time we went there, I always went there again and again and again and again, only to cross that hurdle. The fun part was not when it was smooth, fun part was when we crossed the hurdle. In your video game nowadays, you have levels and hurdles and this thing. And what makes you addictive about the game is your ability to cross the hurdle. That's what life is. If everything is smooth, it appears boring because there's no learning, there's no fun. But the moment there's a little hurdle in learning something, some subject you don't like, the fun is take it as a hurdle and cross it. That's the spirit of human being. You give up, you feel suffocated, you feel inadequate, you feel everyone else is better than you. What is the difference? They kept trying, you decided not to try. So spirit, emotions, thoughts, and mental health. Let's take this through an example. You have experienced, I have experienced, every one of us have experienced this. When we are busy enjoying our game, let's say you're playing in the field, for some reason you fall off. When you fall off, you hurt your leg. What happens when you hurt your leg? So let's understand the whole process, what happens when you fall down, you hurt your leg. You're in the state of total bliss, total joy, because you're absorbed in the game. So how is your attention span? 100%. Any moment you spend where your attention is 100% automatically becomes the source of your joy. There cannot be two things which are not interrelated. Suddenly you fall, you feel hurt, you feel pain. When you feel pain in your leg, you cry out. When you cry out, you hold your breath. Why you hold your breath? You don't hold your breath. This is nature. Automatically you hold your breath to feel the pain completely. And as you begin to feel the pain, and as you take your breath again, gradually your pain starts to diminish. And when pain diminishes, you bounce back to play again. So what is the process? You are in the state of bliss, you get hurt, you feel pain by holding the breath, you continue feeling the pain, gradually pain starts to go down, breath starts to become normal, and you bounce back to play the game. Now imagine if you are hurt, like this child, and somebody around you, for example your mother or your father, tell you that don't cry, you are a brave child. Or for example, in our time, I do not know if parents do that now, but in our time, if I as a boy cried, the simple thing they told us is that boys don't cry, you are brave, don't behave like girls. So in our time it was like this. I hope it doesn't happen to you nowadays. So if somebody tells you not to cry, be brave, what happens? You start to control your pain and you start to act brave. Is the pain gone? Pain is not gone. What is the process and mechanism through which you are suppressing your pain? Pain is an emotion. It is because a thought is given to you that you are brave and you are not supposed to cry. So if this thought is strong in you, if you can stay with this thought strong, then it will suppress the pain completely. Otherwise, you will cry little, behave strong little. Imagine a case that you are able to suppress it. Now what happens? Outside you are behaving normal, inside you are feeling pain. And this causes a conflict inside you. Am I entitled? Am I not entitled? Do I always have to behave as people want me to? Can I not express myself? How many questions I told you you got? 4 or 5 questions you got. What are these questions? Thoughts. Where are they coming from? By suppressing your emotion. In first scenario, that child who got hurt, who cried out loud, bounced back to bliss, had no thoughts. His attention span in the game was 100%. In your case, you suppressed your pain, you have multiple thoughts, you come back to play the game, you don't feel adequate enough the way you were feeling before. You feel less loved because you were not allowed to express. Now you make it a habit. Every time you feel hurt emotionally, physically, but the pain is emotional, whether you are hurt physically or emotionally. Each time pain occurs to you, you begin to question, should I suppress? Should I release? Should I express? Am I allowed? And you make it a habit automatically that you start to suppress it with your thoughts. Now, wherever you go, such as your classroom, you attend a work, this question is bothering you. This emotion which is inside you, which is seeking a release, is seeking its expression. So you continue to feel irritated. You find out mechanisms and ways and means through which you can release that emotion, because what is that which you're feeling right now? You're feeling that I don't have someone where I can be myself. So what happens? Your need to find a friend multiplies. And why do you need a friend? Because you just want to speak that emotion out. release that emotion out. But that child who bounced back to bliss doesn't have a need for a friend, because he or she doesn't have any suppressed emotion or multiple thoughts which are generated through that suppressed emotion. So for a person like this, if a friend does not become very friendly, it doesn't matter. But for you, it matters a lot. Because how would you survive now? You need multiple friends. And how do you keep multiple friends? You keep investing your time in those people. Why do you need that? Because you have suppressed emotions. And why do you have suppressed emotion? Because you're feeling lonely. And you have all those people. Let's say it's your mother who said, hey, you are a boy, you're not supposed to cry. Your mother loves you. Your father loves you exactly the way they used to love before you fell down. So what is the difference now that you are feeling lonely? They have not changed. They are loving you same, but you feel lonely, disconnected from parents, searching for friends. Attention span has gone down in academics and even in the games you play. Now you see how emotions, if suppressed, cause so much damage. So your spirit of a learner, your spirit of a boy, your spirit of a human being, your spirit of a sportsman feels squeezed. And each time you try to do something, you feel suffocated, you feel lonely, you feel inadequate, lack of confidence. So what you do is that you have to work very, very extra hard to put up a brave front. And then you realize you get tired very fast. Then one person who doesn't talk to you one day, even innocently, does not give you as much attention as you expect that person to give. You feel hurt again. You feel rejected. You feel isolated. You feel unloved. And with that, you go into the class, attend your favorite art and painting subject. Are you into it totally? Yeah. Even what you love today, you are not able to love now. So is the teacher boring suddenly? Then why have you lost interest in something that you love? Simply because you cannot be total in any moment. Because you have too many suppressed emotions. So what are these emotions? I told you, slippery road, the hurdle in my path to attain my bliss. So when you talk about spirit, then spirit is exhibited through emotions. The language through which you exhibit your spirit is emotions. So when I say sportsman spirit, you exhibit some emotions. When I say spirit of being a boy, you exhibit some emotions. If I say spirit of being a girl, you represent your spirit in a different way than a boy will represent. Is that good or bad? No, they're different. Beautiful expression. So emotions are the language in which your spirit is exhibited. So when you are playing, what is the spirit? Sportsman spirit. And what does it exhibit? Just joy. If you feel negative emotion, lonely, unloved, inadequate, angry, irritated, rejected, this is also the language of your spirit. So what happened to your spirit? In technical word, we call it your spirit is now contaminated. In other words, we say your spirit is squeezed. What does it mean? You're feeling suffocated inside. You're looking for ways and means through which you can express yourself. And how do you how do you actually suppress your emotions. To suppress an emotion, you require a thought. What does that thought say? Thought says, you are not entitled, don't do it, it is not a good thing to express yourself. That is what mind does. So where does the mind come in? Mind only comes in picture when it has to either express an emotion. For example, you feel safe with a friend and you express yourself. So what is the role of mind here? Mind says, I feel safe here, I can express. So role of the mind is to express your emotion, to regulate your emotion. Regulate means you are feeling hurt. You have various ways in which you can express your hurt. You can draw with colors, you can paint, you can do a poetic way of expression, you can write a big thing, or you can express and articulate in a different way. So it regulates and brings out various associated emotions with that. So that's again capability of your mind, that you are able to articulate or regulate your emotion. It suppresses the emotion. So mind suppresses the emotion. And D, sometimes, for example, you have done no mischief, but your mother is scolding you and you do not know how to explain to her. So it controls your emotion for the time. You wait for her to cool down so that you can speak. So what is mind doing? 4 things. It regulates, it controls, it suppresses, and it expresses the emotion. But in all these 4 cases, its role is in managing an emotion. But if you allow the emotion to surface, if you express that, then there is no suppression, there is no mind. And then you only have state of joy. When you have state of joy, you are always curious. When you are curious, you are looking forward to it. When you're looking forward to it, your attention span is 100%. And that exactly is the difference between you and a child prodigy. He doesn't care. If he falls off, he will cry, then take up his guitar and play it again. But you will try to be nice because somebody told you boys don't cry, or it is weakness if you cry. So what is mental health? Mental health is when no thought, without your permission, comes in your mind and distracts you. So you decide what you want to think. That is sound mental health. If your mind is deciding what you should think, that is not mental health. So for yourself, check what is the level of your mental health. And each time you have a thought, make it a habit gradually and slowly. And for that you don't need time. Wherever you are, thoughts are coming. So whenever you have a thought, always check what is that one emotion it is trying to either control, suppress, express, or regulate. And if you come to that emotion and feel it with your breath, that emotion will go, thought will disappear, your attention span will continue to increase, and your spirit will expand. You will not feel suffocated. So what is the relationship between mental health and spirit? Mental health is inversely proportional to spirit. Your spirit expands and your mind drops, because then you don't need any thoughts. Then you become like a prodigy. Prodigy doesn't have any thought. It's just the total joy. But if your spirit is squeezed, your mental health or mental mind grows. Not mental health, but mind grows. Mind grows means number of thoughts are more. What does it mean? More emotion you suppress, more thoughts you need to control it. More you need control, more work you need to do, more your attention span is reduced, more joy is killed. That's all about spirit, emotion, thoughts, and mental health. Try it out. It's a beautiful phenomena.